the Pran Pratishtha at Ayodhya, at the Sri Ram Janmabhoomi Mandir, something for which Bharatvasis have waited for over 500 years. They fought, they pleaded, they did satyagrah, and finally that moment is coming. And through the day today, we will take you to Sri Ram Nagri, Ayodhya. India Today has the biggest team of reporters on ground to get you what Kavi Maithili Sharan Gupt in his poetry on Saket Nagri actually says, "Dekh lo Saket Nagri hai yahi, swarg se milne gagan ko ja rahi." And we are taking you to that Saket Nagri that Maryada Purushottam Sri Ram himself described as greater than heaven when he told his brother Lakshmana and Vibhishan, "Janani Janmabhumischa Swargadapi Gariyasi." So let me take you straight to the Sri Ram Nagri, Ayodhya, where India Today has the biggest team of reporters on ground joining us on this special broadcast. I have Aishwarya Paliwal, I have Abhishek, and I have Pallavi Saha joining me on the show. And I want to begin by asking you, Aishwarya, take us through the Aishwarya of Ayodhya.
Well, Gaurav, definitely I'll show you the Aishwarya that's taking place in the city of Ayodhya. You know, every nook and corner from the place where I'm standing, you can see the dancers here, all of them making sure that they are preparing themselves for the big dance. On the other side of the road also, you'll be able to see the chants, the bhajans of Lord Sri Ram taking place. All this is being done, and all these people, in fact, are now just waiting for the Pran Pratishtha ceremony. It's almost in the next 3 hours that Lord Sri Ram, Gaurav, will open his eyes, and that is what Ayodhya Vasis have been waiting for the past many generations, for the past many centuries. Let me also show you the kind of cardboards that we have here, and the only one murti that you are seeing everywhere is that of Lord Sri Ram, and Sri Ram has been written. They say that in Ayodhya, Kan mein Prabhu Shri Ram base hue hain. What you see on the other side is the performance and also the poster of Lord Sri Ram. This is a poster that has been put up not just in one place, Gaurav, but in many places. Ayodhya ke kan mein Ram hai, and this is something which has personified itself today. All the people, all the eyes now on the Pran Pratishtha ceremony, and everyone.
And before I bring in Abhishek, I want to cut across to Pallavi Saha. Pallavi, Sri Ram coming home with his Pran Pratishtha taking place of the Vigraha at the Abhijit Muhurt. It's a very specific time, but the guests have already started coming in, and this is the moment where everybody, including the Indian Air Force, are involved, and the Dogra Regimental Center Band. Tell us more about the preparations, this last-minute preparations that are underway, and the role of our forces.
That's right. In fact, it's a very elaborate ceremony. Some of the details, of course, which we've been sharing with our viewers over the course of the last couple of weeks, which we've gathered from our sources. But in a short while from now, at 10 a.m. this morning, the first thing begins, which is the Mangal Dhwani. The Mangal Dhwani, which will go on for 2 hours. 50 instruments, musical instruments from across various states of the country will be played in unison, in harmony, as of course, you know, the orchestra is led by Yatendra Mishra, who in fact is a scholar from Ayodhya, who knows a lot about Ayodhya, its ethos, its culture. He will be leading this orchestra, and supporting him will be the Sangeet Natak Academy in Delhi. But already musical performances are here, and they're underway since early this morning. These are performers who have been braving the morning cold of Ayodhya and have been performing all through. But you know what is very interesting on this entire stretch is the thoroughfare of the VVIP cars that is constantly making its way towards the Ram Janmabhoomi Sthan. You can see all of those vehicles because they have to be in time and be seated. They were given time of about 8:30 a.m. this morning, so they're all rushing in because the Mangal Dhwani begins at 10 a.m. After which, of course, you know, there will be the process of the Pran Pratishtha, the ceremony. The Pran which will start, the rituals will start at 12:05 p.m. The Prime Minister will be arriving though at 10:45 p.m. at the Maharishi Valmiki International Airport, Ayodhya Dham. He will arrive over there and he will be making his way eventually to the temple, but the rituals begin at 12:05 p.m. at 12:20 being the Abhijit Muhurt, when of course the Pran Pratishtha takes place, but the entire process will last from 12:05 p.m. to 12:55 p.m. after which the Prime Minister will move out of the Sanctum Sanctorum, the Garbh Griha, and arrive at the venue inside the Mandir complex of the address. He will be addressing this gathering which will be there, of all the guests who will be there, and then proceeding from there after an hour's time which has been allotted for this, he will proceed by 2:15 p.m. to the Kuber Tila, to the restored Lord Shiva temple, again in the Mandir complex to do darshan and puja, and he'll be wrapping up his day and taking off from Ayodhya at 3 p.m. this afternoon. And like you said,
I also want to bring in Abhishek into this conversation, and it's absolutely spellbinding, these images that we see at the Sri Ram Janmabhoomi Ayodhya. And while we wait for the Rajabhishek, when the Sri Ram Darbar comes up, Abhishek, we are talking about the Pran Pratishtha and the Abhijit Muhurt. Exactly 12:29 and 8 seconds. This was very carefully chosen, this auspicious time. Tell us some of the VVIPs who've already started coming from 8 in the morning, and by 10:30 they all need to be seated, Abhishek.
Well, absolutely, Gaurav, and that is why, we have seen the movement on the roads at the Ram Path. I've taken a full ride from the point where it began, crossing all the way to the Ram Janmabhoomi and to the last point, which is the Lata Chowk. A lot of VIPs we have witnessed are still on the roads because 8,000 invitees for this event. And, the administration is making sure that everybody enters the premises on time. And that is why there is a lot of movement. Let me show you the visuals once again, because CM Yogi Adityanath has just, reached the Ram Janmabhoomi premises. They have entered from the same gate. Now, where we are standing, this is the key entry point. All the VVIPs who are coming from the airport from the side of Saket point, they are coming and they are entering from this gate. And this straight, hardly 1.5 kilometers, leads to the Ram Janmabhoomi Parisar, the premises where the actual ceremony is about to begin. So that is what is happening right now. And if I talk about all these VVIPs, we have seen, the cavalcade and their vehicles getting into the premises. So they all are being asked to be seated by 10:30, and that's why even 10 before, because Prime Minister will land at 10:25, and we're expecting him to reach the Ram Janmabhoomi at 10:45. So 20 minutes of gap, and then he will be there. He will be having a look of the whole premises, the Grand Temple, which has been inaugurated. He will have close watch to every aspect and element of that temple, and then afterwards, 12 in the afternoon, the actual Pran Pratishtha ceremony, that ritual will begin. And you rightly put it out about the 84 seconds, very auspicious seconds, very important Muhurta, because it's been said that on the Chaitra Navami in the Treta Yuga, on that particular day, Ram was born in the afternoon. That is the only reason that Muhurta has been chosen, has been taken, and for that moment. So
Abhishek, stay with me.